Welcome, I am Don Jeffrey from Grade 11, from Vela Mall Bodhi campus. The topic is Traditional Food Preservation Techniques. Do you know how our ancestors preserved food items before the invention of refrigerators? Well, let me tell you, it's fascinating. They used some incredible techniques like pickling, smoking, fermentation, drying, salting, sugaring, and oil preservation. Let us explore these amazing methods and understand how they kept food safe and tasty for a long time. The first technique is pickling. Have you ever heard of Indian mango pickles? They stay good for years. You know how, right? It's because of pickling. Pickling is a process where you put veggies or fruits in a salty or vinegar-based solution to prevent spoilage. This means that the food stays safe to eat and lasts longer. But that's not all. Pickling also gives the food a unique taste and smell that many people love. For example, in India, we make pickles from mangoes, onions, lemons, cauliflower, and even beans. And don't forget about Korean kimchi, a famous pickled cabbage dish. So pickling is not just a way to preserve food, it's also a way to add flavor. Next is smoking. Smoking is a traditional method used to preserve fish, meat, or cheese by exposing them to smoke. Smoke contains special compounds that help prevent the growth of bacteria and other microorganisms that can cause spoilage. This process not only helps preserve the food, but also gives it a unique taste and smell that many people enjoy. Fermentation is another important method used to preserve food. It's a process where microorganisms like bacteria or yeast are used to transform the food, usually by producing acids or alcohol. These substances help preserve the food and extend its shelf life. For example, yogurt and sauerkraut are made through fermentation. In India, we use fermentation to make idli and dosa batter. During this process, the batter becomes sour and the taste is enhanced. So fermentation is not only a way to preserve food, but also adds flavor to it. Drying and salting are very common methods used to preserve food for a long time. These methods are simple and have been used for centuries. Drying food removes moisture, which is essential for the growth of microorganisms that cause spoilage. One example is dried fish. Salting works by removing moisture from the food, which also inhibits the growth of microorganisms. Salted meat can be stored for a long time and used when needed. Both drying and salting are effective ways to preserve food without using chemicals. Sugaring is another method used to preserve food, especially fruits. This method is commonly used to make jams, jellies, and candied fruits. The high sugar content in these products creates an environment that is not suitable for the growth of microorganisms, so it's a great way to enjoy fruits for a long time. Oil preservation is a method where food is stored in oil to block oxygen. This prevents the growth of microorganisms and extends the shelf life of the food. This method is commonly used to preserve vegetables and fruits. Our ancestors also used root cellars to preserve food. A root cellar is an underground space where temperature and humidity levels are ideal for storing food. In areas with cold winters, root cellars were used to store vegetables and fruits for long periods. They would dig a hole in the ground and build a structure to store food. The constant temperature and humidity made it possible to preserve food without using any special methods. In ash storage, food was placed in layers of ash to preserve it. This method was commonly used to preserve grains and vegetables. The ash created a protective layer that kept the food safe from insects and other pests. It also helped maintain the quality and nutritional value of the food for a long time. In villages, people used a clay pot or maca to keep milk, water, and curd cool. This method is known as earthen pot cooling. The clay pots were made from natural materials and had a cooling effect due to the high thermal mass of clay. The pots would absorb heat from the contents, and then slowly release it into the surroundings, keeping the contents cool. This method is still used in some parts of the country to keep food and drinks cool without electricity. These methods show how our ancestors were creative and resourceful. They didn't have modern tools or technology, but they found ways to preserve food using what was available to them. They developed techniques like pickling, smoking, and fermentation, which not only helped them store food for longer, but also added unique flavors and textures to their dishes. Their knowledge of food preservation was not just about keeping food safe, it was also about making the most of the ingredients and reducing waste. They understood the importance of preserving food for times of scarcity, and they developed techniques that were not only practical but also sustainable. Their techniques are still used today because they are natural, chemical-free, and eco-friendly. So next time you enjoy a pickled mango or smoked fish, remember the ingenuity of our ancestors who developed these techniques centuries ago. Thank you.